Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Brennan again, and we're going to be talking about the Gangster wraps from Mark Bell, available for $40 at howmuchyoubench.net. Now, I've done several reviews of other wrist wraps in the past, and the reason I got these is only because I've had a lot of issues with them falling apart, and this was what really initially drew me to the Gangster wraps. So as you can see from this picture, you see them right here. They're actually made from a very heavy-duty material, very similar, if not the same, as what they use in the Slingshot. So if you're not familiar with the Slingshot, look it up. But it's a very heavy-duty material, yet it still has a lot of stretch to it. So that makes this really beneficial for any kind of wrapping movement, as you can really pull the slack out and get it really tight, and the elastic comes back and makes it almost like a cast in some circumstances. Now, continuing on with build quality on this, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see that the Velcro itself is actually double stitched to the wrap itself. Now, one of the main reasons that I got these was with my previous wraps. They were single stitch, which you'll see from the picture right here, and that led to a lot of fraying and the Velcro actually detaching from the wrap itself. So I also wanted to point out the differences in the thumb loops used here. So on the left with the Gangster wraps, you have a thumb loop that's connected to the entire wrap, whereas on the right-hand side, you have a more traditional thumb loop that sticks out. Now, previous to using the actual Gangster wraps, I never gave much thought to this, but I'm going to show you in a second how much of a difference this can make. Before I do that, though, I do want to show you the differences in length here. So the Gangster wrap is a bit longer. It's a 36-inch wrap. However, it being longer also allows you to do some pretty unique things that we'll get to in just one second. So getting back to the thumb loops, here with the traditional wrap, one of the issues you might have is when you put the thumb loop on and try to pull it tight, you actually pull the whole wrap off your wrist, and this could lead to some problems with getting the best wrap possible. So moving on to the Gangster wrap, the big thumb loop here allows you to put it on your entire thumb, pull tight, and still have it be on your wrist to make wrapping easier. You can also have some variations if you want to play around with the way you wrap it, because again, the thumb loop makes this possible. So let's take a look at a standard wrap. I prefer to hold it while I'm doing this, but that's personal preference. And again, being 36 inches, we really get a good tight wrap on this. Another added benefit of the Gangster wrap is the fact that you have a very long piece of Velcro, both on the wrap and coming off itself. So no matter how you wrap it, you can really make sure you get a firm, tight support grip. And again, as I mentioned, this feels almost like a cast. You see here trying to bend my wrist actually ends up moving my whole arm. And to take off, as you can see, it's very simple. Now let's say after your workout you wanted to hit the heavy bag or something like that. Because the length of the wrap is 36 inches, you could really wrap your whole entire hand if you so wanted to. And that's just what I'm showing you here, is just some variations if you're interested in playing around with it. To highlight some of the uses of the thumb loop too, you could actually put the wrap through itself and use this for just more than wrist wraps if you really wanted to. Again, this has to do with the thumb loop, the Velcro, and the length of the wrap itself. So let's say, for example, you wanted to wrap your elbow, get a little bit of compression in that area. It's simply a matter of sliding the wrap through its own thumb loop and then wrapping whatever area you want. So here you see me wrapping my elbow. You can also get pretty creative with this and use this as a knee wrap as well if you wanted to. Again, these are just some of the different things that you can do. So it's a very multi-purpose wrap in my opinion. So to wrap things up, this is a very sturdy, well-built wrap with very multiple uses if you so choose to. But when looking at it as strictly a wrist wrap, it does a great job. It's very firm, it's very supportive, and it's built to last. Now again, if you're interested in purchasing this, you can find it on howmuchyoubench.net. Again, it's made by Mark Bell, who, if you haven't watched him on YouTube, definitely go check out his channel, as he's a great guy overall. He puts out a lot of great videos, but I really enjoy these wraps, and I think you will too. In the meantime, everybody, thanks so much for watching, and as always, stay big.